Hey, good morning, guys. We want to do integer operation rules. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Remember when we're saying adding integers, it's basically combining integers. So we can draw a slash through that. I like combining. You are going to decide whether you add or subtract. Okay, so same sign. If you have two numbers that are the same sign, and let's start off with 7 plus 8. This is the old school 7 plus 8, meaning you just did regular addition. Okay, and then if we did another example of this, this would be negative 6 and negative 4. This would give us a negative 10. I want you to notice that if I went ahead and did another example, it would be me writing this in a different way. So notice it is just a plus sign in the middle, but look, both of them are negative. That's a negative 6, that's a negative 4. Same thing up top. This is a negative 4 and a negative 6. So if they're the same, that means the answer is the same. So what do you notice right there? So when we have the same signs, 8 plus 7 is a positive, negative 6, negative 4 are both negative. What do we do? What do you think the rules are? And the rule is we add, and keep the sign from both numbers. And that's what we did. Okay? So next is different signs. What happens if the two numbers, one's a negative, one's a positive? That's what we're asking. If one's a negative, one's a positive. So if we have negative, let's go ahead and do something weird. Negative 9 plus 11. Okay? So again, evaluating, this is a negative 9, this is a positive 11. What is that going to give me right here? Well, it's going to give me a positive 2. How did I get that? How do we get 2? Well, Mr. Groves, 11 minus 9 is 2. Okay, but Mr. Groves, why did you keep it positive? And the reason why I kept it positive is because 11 is a bigger positive. Oh, it looks like a smiley face. My point is that 11, we had more positives than negatives. So if you have more positives or more money than debt, so for example, if I have $11, but I owe you $9, right? I technically am going to pay you and I will only have $2 left. That's a money example, but let's go ahead and see if we got some more different signs here. If we take the 2 minus 5, so look at that. Let's say this one always throws people off because it's an illogical statement. 2 minus 5, what? You can't do that. Well, now we can. So there's two ways I want you to do this. And students prefer a different way. Either you do it Mr. Grove's way, which I know that this is a positive 2 and this is a negative 5. What? Negative 5 is bigger. I'm still going to subtract. Negative 5 minus 2 is 3. And it's going to be a negative 3 because I had more negatives than positives. Mr. Groves, what's the other way to do it? Well, another student in my third block loves it when we do it like this. We take the 2, we have a minus sign in the middle, which means we could change, which we'll get over to here. She used one of the rules over there. So 2 minus 5, we just change that to a plus sign, change that to a negative sign. Basically, it makes it look like this problem up here, and it makes people feel warm and fuzzy. And if that's you, that's great. And again, two different signs, positive 2, negative 5. We subtract, and that's going to give us negative 3. So same problem, just written differently. But hopefully you kind of heard my rules that I was saying out loud. What are the rules, guys? The rules are if they're different signs, I'm going to subtract and keep the sign, not of both numbers. See how this one says both numbers? We're going to keep the sign of the larger integer. And what do I mean by larger integer? I mean if it's a negative 50 and a positive 9, negative 50 is a much bigger negative than positive 5. Basically, it's the absolute value. It's the larger, if you want to, write that down, absolute value. And if you don't remember, absolute value means distance away from 0. So we keep the sign of the number that is furthest away from 0. Now let's go ahead and jump into some more examples. We've got subtracting integers. You're like, Mr. Groves, we literally just subtracted in the last box. We did it with different signs. Correct. Subtracting integers is for a specific rule of when you see double negatives. So go ahead, you could write double negatives. And negatives can be viewed as the opposites. We'll talk about the distribution, but when you see something nasty like this, what? Or you see it, let me change it into something crazier. Ooh, it's got parentheses. You've got two negatives that are about to touch. Now, these are two different problems. So we'll deal with the first one. We have 5 minus negative 7. So remember, there is no such thing as a minus sign anymore. Or if you want to keep it minus, it doesn't matter. But when they're about to touch like this, you're going to go ahead and change it to a positive. Okay, so 5 plus 7, what is that going to be, guys? It's going to be a 12. So do you see what happened? Mr. Groves, does it change if there's a parentheses? Well, let's see. Nope. 5 plus 6 they're both positives now. We're following the rules from the other two boxes, and that's going to be a positive 11. That's fantastic, right, guys? Yes? Okay, good. We're doing good then. So, Mr. Groves, what happens? Okay, we're getting real creative. What happens if there's a negative on the outside? So, negative 11 minus negative 4. Oh my. So what do we need to do? Well, this is pretty simple as well. Again, I'm only going to deal with the negatives that are about to touch. The negatives that are about to touch are the ones in the middle right here. Boom. So I change them. Boop, boop. Whether in parentheses or not, I change them. So this is now a different sign. So this is negative 11. This is positive 4. And this is going to be negative. Let's go ahead and do it. This is going to be negative 6. This is going to be negative 7. It's going to be negative 7. I subtracted because they ended up being two different signs. So that's pretty much the subtraction rules, guys, and the addition rules. But remember, we're not really adding and subtracting. We're combining, and for those of you who know from Unit 3, we're combining like terms. These are just constants. And no one showed you this when you were in elementary, and I apologize. We kind of go deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole as you guys get older. So here we go. Multiplying integers. These are so simple, but we're going to go over them anyway. So if I'm multiplying 8 times 6 or negative 7 times negative 5, look, they are the same sign. So 8 times 6, what is that going to give us? That is 48. Negative 7 and negative 5. Now they are the same sign. These both are exactly the same as in following the rule. Negative 7, negative 5, what is that going to be, guys? It's going to be 35. So there it is. Boom, boom. Our answers are both positive. So let's go ahead and write a rule for that. So if it doesn't, as long as they're the same sign, whether there are two negatives or two positives, what is our answer? If they're the same sign, our answer is always positive. Boom. Okay. What if they're different signs, guys? What if they're different signs? If they're different signs, okay, if they're different signs, so let's do negative 7 times 8. Let's do negative 5 times 11 in parentheses. Okay, I'll just show you the answers. Negative 7 times 8 is, was that negative 56? Nailed it. Negative 55. Awesome. Look at that, guys. Both of my answers, when they're different signs, are negative. And no, it does not matter if I replace the negative. So look, if it's 11 times a negative 5, look, it's still negative 55. Remember, multiplication doesn't matter the order. It's always the same answer. So what are the rules? If I'm multiplying by a negative and a positive, two different signs, my answer is always going to be negative. Answer is always negative. Wow. That's complicated. No, it's not. You guys know this. You guys know it's These are the easy rules down here, but we get them mixed up with the rules up top, and that's where we get into trouble. Okay, so dividing integers. Are the rules going to really change? Absolutely not. So if I have a -8 divided by 4, and let's write something like a fraction, guys, because that's what we need to do. Okay, and then 10 divided by -5. Look at this. Both of these, oh, these are same sign, and I wrote different signs. My bad. So let's go ahead and make those both a negative. Let's make this both a positive. I apologize. I was in the other box in my mind. So we've got 2 negatives, 2 positives down here. Now watch this. Watch this carefully. So -8 divided by -4 gives me a +2. +10 divided by +5 gives me a +2. Oh my goodness, look at that. Both my answers were positive, and they came from division of 2 numbers that are the same sign. So these were 2 negatives being divided together, gave us a positive. These were 2 positives being divided together. So what is the rule, Mr. Groves? It's the same rule as multiplication. 100%, whoever is talking in my head. Anyway, answer is always positive. And then you're probably going like, well, if that's the answer there, we can kind of make a guess at what's going on in the next box over here. We're dividing different signs. So we have -15 divided by 5, or we've got, what do we say, -9 divided by 3. What do we got? So this one's going to give me -15, -5 is going to be -3. And what is this one going to give me? This one's going to give me, oh, also -3. And if you look at it, when we had a negative divided by a positive, a negative divided by a positive, it gave us a negative. Every time we divide by different signs, it will give us a negative. Now, just in case you're like, Mr. Groves, I feel like you've used division and multiplication problems gave us the same answer. So if you noticed last time, this gave us both -5. So if I wanted to, let's do a different division problem. Let's do 10 divided by -2. Okay, and that gives us what, guys? -5. See, different signs, still negative. So I just wanted to close out with this one. What are the rules, guys? When we're dividing by different signs, if we're dividing by different signs, my answer will always be, right? Answer will always be a negative. The answer will always be negative. My pen's given out, guys. I apologize for that. Go ahead, give this video a like, and I hope this kind of helped you guys get through your rules. This has been another Bowtie Math video. Look forward to seeing you guys do really well on this test. There's going to be more videos to follow. See you then.